What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again on another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got Jason Aldean doubling down on his song. We haven't heard anything from Jason Aldean in a while. I feel like he came out in the middle of the summer when they were trying to attack him. I feel like a lot of people were trying to attack him, especially from the left, about his song "Try That in a Small Town." Jason Aldean is now coming out again. He did an interview with a CBS news reporter about the song, because I'm not sure what's going on or what sparked it back up, what got it going again, but Jason Aldean is not backing down on his stance about the song. The song is not racist. It had nothing prejudice in it. Not the song, not the video. It was literally just, small town vibes, small town feels, you know what I mean? So I'm not really sure, where they're getting the whole prejudice narrative from, but Jason Aldean is not going to accept it. I remember we had people specifically like Whoopi Goldberg in The View trying to, slam Jason's name. They were trying to defame him to the point where he almost was about to sue them. I remember Whoopi Goldberg, The View, all of them were on edge because Jason was about to sue them. So I'm excited to see what exactly the CBS news reporter was trying to come at Jason with. Of course, he did not back down. We're going to hop straight into it, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button, guys. We're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. Let's get into it, y'all.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind. We've got some leftist nonsense to get into. Let's travel back in time a couple months ago to whatever was the faux outrage of the month, we could say, at the time. There's always something, right? There's always someone getting canceled. There's always someone ruffling feathers or doing something that's supposedly so horrible, outrageous, and irredeemable. This time we're talking about Jason Aldean and his hit single, Try That in a Small Town, an absolutely fantastic hit, which all your typical leftist Twitter junkies then tried to twist as a racist song.
Alright, answer me this. If Jason Aldean wasn't trying to be racist with his song In a Small Town, why does he shoot the video at a place famous for a lynching?
Okay, this post is my opinion on the Jason Aldean song. When he says these things in this song, it makes me think of the sundown towns. This is dangerous, and people will die because of his song, in my opinion. This is a dog whistle.
So are we going to talk about the racist dog whistles in Jason Aldean's new song or no? Because this shit's got me fired up. When I tell you there was a visceral response to hearing this song for the first time today, I mean that.
Jason Aldean's song is racist, and if you can't see that, you're part of the problem.
And maybe back in 2017, 2018, post Charlottesville, when things were a little bit sensitive, in that environment, we probably would have received a groveling apology from the artist. They would have given in, regardless of whether the narrative was accurate or not. But we live in a different time now, where leftists attempt to twist these ridiculous narratives and accuse people of having racist or malicious intent. And the response nowadays is less of assuming the fetal position and apologizing, hoping for forgiveness from the leftist loony bin crew, and more of a doubling down, defending yourself, and telling the lefty mob to pound sand. Jason Aldean does it again, and actually CBS runs a little bit of a fluff piece, I'd argue, which has leftoids losing their minds. Let me show you guys the interaction, then let's of course have a conversation. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape.
What was your reaction when you saw people saying that this had racist undertones, and it was like a call to arms? It was like a call to arms in small towns. It was a threatening kind of video for black people. I mean, people were putting this on, like,
but there was
TikTok.
people of all color doing stuff in the video. That's what I don't understand. There was white people in there. There was black people. I mean, this video did not shine light on one specific group and say that's the problem. So, and anybody that saw that in the video, then you weren't looking hard enough in the video, is all I can tell you.
The song mostly flew under the radar when it was released, but when the music video came out in July, it took off, skyrocketing to #1 across all musical genres in the country.
I love the song. I was excited to cut it and thought it was actually a song that said something for a change, not just a, here's another song for radio.
Part of that heat was because of where the video was filmed, in front of the Murray County Courthouse in Columbia, Tennessee, the site of a 1927 lynching of a black teen.
For anybody that thinks that we picked that building specifically for that reason, because, you know, there was a lynching there, whatever.
Did you know that?
No. But I also don't go back 100 years and check on the history of a place before we go shoot it either. It's also the place that I go get my car tags every year. It's my county that I live in.
Would you do it in that courthouse again, knowing what you know now?
Knowing what I know now, probably not. But it's also, you know, I don't think, again, I'm not going to go back 100 years and check on the history of this building. I mean, because honestly, if you're in the South, you could probably go to any small town courthouse. You're going to be hard pressed to find one that hasn't had some sort of, you know, racial issue over the years at some point. I mean, that's just a fact. The whole idea behind the video was to show, you know, the lawlessness and the, you know, disrespect for cops and just, you know, trashing cities and burning. It's just, I'm just not cool with that. So it just, I don't know, I feel like the narrative really got switched over and became, you know, more of a racial type thing. And it's like, if that's what you got out of the song and the video, I mean, I almost kind of feel like that's on you, because that wasn't our intention.
Right.
You know?
Aldean says the song may resonate with him more because news reports of crime and violence feel personal. He recorded it in the same bare-bones studio he's always recorded in, with the same band and producer he started out with 20 years ago.
Not ready to hang it up.
Not yet. I got more stuff to say, you know?
And he will continue to stand by what he's already said and try that in a small town.
I would do it over again every time.
Minus the setting.
Minus the setting. Knowing what I know now, obviously, you know, knowing that that was going to be a thing, you know, maybe you look at doing it somewhere else. I know what the intentions were.
And I feel like the setting is just liberals reaching. Like, they're literally, she's trying to force that on. He's still saying, like, I mean, like, the setting, knowing that I know now, I guess I wouldn't do it. But still, we're other courthouse, you know, down in the South, or you're not going to find some type of racial event that happened 100+ years ago. And who the heck is going and researching 100 years back before they record? Come on now, let's be realistic, man. This just is unfair, and I feel like the left is really trying, like you said, they twisted it into something that it was not. If you've seen that in this video, you might need to do some self-reflecting on how you are in your character, because it might be you projecting that onto him. Come on now.
To be a thing, you know, maybe you look at doing it somewhere else. I know what the intentions were behind the location, the video, the song, all of it, and, you know, and I stand by all that.
I'm sure all the lefty CBS viewers are watching that encounter, hoping for that CBS journalist to attack Jason Aldean, to label him, to target him, to condemn him. And they were probably hoping for Jason Aldean to give in to the pressure and apologize, but instead, he stood by all of it and refused to apologize. Even on the issue of the supposed controversial location where the music video was filmed, they were expecting some sort of apology, but his response was perfect. What am I supposed to do? Delve into the 100+ year history of every place? You know, that's the whole thing with this nonsense leftist counterculture garbage, this sort of puritanical standard that nobody can really live up to. Are we supposed to question literally everything and attempt to view racism and race in everything that we do, say, and touch? Obviously, that makes no sense. And if that was the case, I mean, you wouldn't be able to shoot music videos in most historic areas, because most of American history, most monuments built before a certain point in time have some sort of a connection to slavery in one way or another. Should we outlaw, completely ban any filming of anything in front of the White House due to America's past history of slavery? Obviously not. Obviously that makes no sense, and it's a ridiculous standard. And again, for me, what's so twisted is to ascribe malice or to ascribe racism to Jason Aldean and to pretend as if he made that decision on purpose. It was a dog whistle. He was sending a message. Give me a break. You know, the arguments never made sense to begin with. If anybody was acting racist in this whole situation, it was the lefties claiming racism. They're the ones making such a horrible association. Any song related to crime, well, it must be associated with black people. They're making that logical jump. They're making that connection. Whereas if you actually watch the video, most of the scenes, white people. Is that a surprise to anybody who paid attention to the 2020 summer of riots? It's a surprise to nobody with working eyeballs. And it's pretty simple why. We covered the 2020 summer of mostly peaceful riots, summer of love. We covered it in almost every single BLM SLAMS scene. You know, the majority of people on the streets were white Antifa nerds. You know, the issue of violence, burning, and looting wasn't a racial issue, but rather an anarcho-leftist issue. And that was the message of the song. It was a response to what was seen on the streets. It was a response to actions committed by certain perpetrators who were taking advantage of a very sensitive situation, but most importantly, taking advantage of communities and neighborhoods, ransacking, burning, and looting those neighborhoods. And the whole point of the song was, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. In other words, a song with a very strong message against lawlessness, against a criminal element, but honestly, most importantly, highlighting this twisted ideology and behavior that attempts to justify the ransacking of communities as social justice or legitimate protest in the face of fascism. No, what we saw was abuse. Abuse of people, abuse of businesses, abuse of communities, but most importantly, abuse in taking advantage of an actual legitimate activist cause. That's what people don't seem to understand. They claim Jason Aldean is racist, but Jason Aldean, if anything, is calling out the true racists, the people who took advantage of that socialist cause, who ruined public perception and public image of modern-day social activism in general as a whole. You know, Black Lives Matter has a horrible, horrible reputation because they launder money to Democrats, they launder money to themselves, and buy lavish multi-million-dollar mansions. They push horrible ideology like defunding the police, destroying the family unit, pro-abortion on demand. I mean, the list goes on, and they collected all of this money off all this noise that they created, and none of it went back to actually building black communities. Not to mention, black communities, after the summer of riots, needed some real building back, you know, some building back better, after those exact black communities were burnt down to the ground, freaking burnt to a crisp. Anybody standing against the BLM Antifa garbage is the true social justice activist, if you ask me. Jason Aldean is the one fighting for black-owned businesses and black communities by promoting a message not accepting this type of community abuse under the guise, under the mask of social justice. You know, two things. Good on him for making the song in the first place, and then good on him for standing by his message and standing by his values and who he is as a human being instead of bending to the woke mob. Obviously, he was right. He obviously had the moral high ground from the start. And I think the way the cookie crumbled on this one, you know, 2020 hindsight, as we look back, that fact is pretty much undeniable. Even CBS had a hard time running a hit piece on him and ended up pretty much running a fluff piece where they gave him a platform to clarify his views and pretty much in the end couldn't really counter any of what he was saying, kind of giving the whole thing in the end a nice positive culmination. This is how it's done. This is how you stand up to the woke mob. This is how you stand up for traditional small town values, values of respect, law and order, and community. This is how it's done. This should be the standard across the board. And if we had more of this in the entertainment industry and less of the blue-haired septum ring Cardi B listening nonsense, less promotion and glorification of violence and criminal behavior, we would be better off as a culture, better off as a people. We need more Jason Aldean and less glorification of violence. They actually wanted us to condemn a message of don't do crime as they peddle music to 13-year-olds, glorifying shooting other people in the frickin' face. Absolute idiots. Anyway.
Yo, there we have it, guys. I gotta applaud Jason Aldean for, you know, doubling down, standing on what he said. Most people would try to, you know, get down and apologize to the left, let them know, like, hey, I didn't mean to do that. That was not, you know, he didn't apologize, none of that. He straight up said, that's not what I meant, that's not what I said. If that's what you got, then it might be on you. You might need to do some self-reflecting. If that's how you feel, go back and look at yourself, look in the mirror, because it might be you, not me. Because my song, you need to look a little deeper, because there was nothing prejudice in my song. And I stand with Jason Aldean when he says that. I mean, honestly, you couldn't pull anything out of that was prejudice, except if you went 100 years back. And honestly, let's be real, like, who is going 100 years? If you go 100 years back to try to dig and research he literally just picked the courthouse. I heard that Jason Aldean lives like a couple blocks down the street from the courthouse. Like he said, he renews his license plate tags at the courthouse that he did the same shooting at. So I mean, like, come on, let's be real. You guys are really like reaching for straws at this point, and it's not cool. Yo, you guys let me know your thoughts on the whole situation down in the comment section below. I'm really happy that Jason Aldean didn't fold, didn't bend. When they came at him, he doubled down and, you know, standing on the same thing he was saying at the beginning of the summer. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button, guys. We're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. I'll catch you guys on the next one. We go.